Lance Russell. Did you have
Yeah.
any sort of relationship with him? Him being one of kind of the great announcers out there, obviously alongside with you.
Oh, we were great friends. We're great friends. Lance and his late wife Audrey, and my late wife Jan and I were friends. We became friends largely over the filming of the Man in the Moon movie, because ironically, and don't ask me to explain it because I have no idea. In that movie, I played Lance Russell's role. Even though in the credits it didn't mention Lance Russell, me playing Lance Russell, but right down by my credit, it's got ring announcer Lance Russell. So why I didn't do the ring announcing and Lance did play Lance has always been a head scratcher to me. But we got to become friends a few days there in Los Angeles doing that taping, filming, whatever. And then, I knew Lance at WCW when he used to be driven crazy by the Freebirds, Hayes and Garvin. And, just I'd see him here, there, and yon. But, yeah, we were friends. Look, I was thinking this recently. I never, ever heard a single human being utter a remotely negative remark about Lance Russell. And in life in general, that's very, very rare. In the wrestling business, it's essentially extinct. The only other person that I can think of that would fit into that same conversation, at least off the top of my head, is Owen Hart. So Lance Russell was a national treasure. He was the best weekly TV wrestling host ever, and that will ever be, because that side of the business has become a dying presentation. But what Lance did for decades and decades, with no rehearsal, with no teleprompter, with nobody in his ear feeding him lines, just freewheeling with a stick mic in a small TV studio, and got these ridiculous ratings that you think they're typos. So Lance is the best ever at his role, without a doubt. Nobody's even going to come. I don't know how they would ever come close. I think he's got that one cornered. But the big thing for me was that Lance was a gentleman and just a class act. Golly, just what a wonderful guy. And I was so happy. I put on my Twitter. I sent a tweet out that a picture that someone took of us on my camera at the Cauliflower Alley Club with Jerry the King and Lance and I. That's a picture I really embrace, And so Lance was Lawler will tell you that as big as Lawler got, there was nothing ever bigger than Jerry Lawler in Memphis, ever. But there would have been no King if there wasn't Lance. And I think that's just a classy thing for Jerry to say, but he's right on the money. Lance was the lyricist for all that crazy music that they wrote in Memphis all those years. And somehow Lance made sense out of it enough to motivate you to either, one, buy a ticket, or two, be sure and tune in again next week. Because we'll try to sell you a ticket. And somewhere along the way, if we're persistent enough and you watch enough and get hooked on the storylines, guess what? You're going to buy a ticket. So he was classic. He was classic. It's something. I don't know how readily available they are. Some of that really cool stuff from the Memphis studio. You guys know that better than I. I don't think that's a WWE network library acquisition. I don't know that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Nope, not yet. Nope.
So yeah. So, but if people that listen, you have a few minutes, maybe hop on YouTube or something for Lance Russell and his interactions with everybody. Again, understand they didn't walk through this earlier in the day. They're not working off cue cards or prompters, as I mentioned. there's an art form of doing all this and disseminating data like Monday at the Coliseum or next Friday in Nashville or wherever it may be. So there's a method to the madness, but nobody herded the chickens and kept the rudder in the water like Lance Russell. He was just the very best.